Fields, I have a question for you. Who is your favorite UFC fighter, like, of all time? Like, who's your favorite?
And why?
Yeah, and why?
I think it's a very generic answer, but simply it's just going to come down to Conor McGregor. I like his swagger. I like his style. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to find a guy that'll get up on a stage and tell you to suck his big nuts in front of millions of guys. All right, Brodacious, I got to ask you, who's your favorite fighter?
I got to go with the Black Beast, Derek Lewis. I became a huge Derek Lewis fan. What's so funny, Zane?
Nothing.
I became a huge Derek Lewis fan after he knocked that Russian motherfucker out, and then went on the show afterwards. Took his
Joe Rogan?
took his pants off and let everybody know that his balls were hot. That's when he became my favorite fighter.
And, I kind of felt rude that we didn't start the podcast off like this, but how was your fourth, man?
It was horrible. I spent 17 hours of my day out in the sun directing traffic. It was absolutely miserable, but there's really no but. It was miserable. I'm very, very light-skinned for those who may not know me, so I burn very easily. So that was quite the bummer. I think I was applying 10 buckets of sunscreen every couple 15, 20 minutes. So, but yeah, other than that, it was just fantastic.
We're going to pass this over to Zane Bowling, who's going to give us a little recap of the Tigers' season so far. You excited to talk about the Tigers?
I'm always excited to talk about the Tigers. They might not be the best this year or these past 10 years, actually. Tigers, they're 5.5 games back from the Twins. They had it at 3 games back, but then the Nick Maton situation happened, and now he's sent down to Double-A, hopefully never to return.
What are your recap on Javi Baez so far through this first couple months?
Every time Javi Baez hits a home run, just Twitter explodes on the Detroit media. El Mago's back. El Mago's back. But, then they forget the next 3 strikeouts he has after that. I still think he's one of the worst contracts in Major League Baseball. He's probably the worst contract and one of the worst contracts in Tigers history.
If I remember correctly, you quit calling him Javi and called him Harvey. And soon after that, he hit that grand slam. Granted, he went 1 for 5, but that grand slam helped us win that game. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, if you go 1 for 5 with a home run every game, you are a very above average baseball player.
I would take that, but I don't know if it really that pushed us over the edge to winning the game because Marisnik also hit a grand slam that game, and Torkelson hit one, and I think Vierling also hit one. But I'm not gonna just knock on this guy for hitting a grand slam. He hit a grand slam, and he's been playing better. His gloves finally coming alive. He made an amazing diving catch that should be top 10 on the Sports Center highlight reel. Also, I want to take credit, all of us, except Fields. He wasn't here, but you could take credit in this right now. I think we when we were dogging on Torkelson saying he was terrible, he came alive again. Torkelson's back.
You're saying us, our tiny channel, we put that fire underneath Torkelson.
We reverse jinxed him.
Yes, we reverse jinxed him because we were saying how bad he is, and then look at it. Like he's the team leader in home runs right now. Oh, yeah, I think he has 12. He's on his way to 20, and I can't remember the last time we had a 20 home run guy in Detroit.
I think of an Andy Reid, the best coach in football, 6 to 7 months to prepare against Aaron Glenn. And they're going to be like, well, Ben Johnson this and Ben Johnson that. Well, they got Steve Spagnuolo, and he's one of the best defensive minds in the game, so I think that might be a wash.
I'm just saying the last time Jared Goff played Patrick Mahomes primetime, it was one of the best games I've ever seen, and Jared Goff came out with the W. And I'm looking to repeat history right now.
Yay. Yeah, great analysis right there.
And can I have your thoughts on Jared Goff, though, for a second?
I honestly don't know who I'd rather build my football team around than Jared Goff. I can't think of a better football personality, a better talented quarterback. I mean, you could YouTube him right now, and I don't think you could find one bad thing on that man. I mean, the contract that he signed with the Rams, well-deserved when he signed that contract. The Super Bowl performance that he had, astronomical. I've never seen a quarterback like him, and I want to make that very clear. Never seen one like him. But I can't think of one person I'd rather build my franchise around than Jared Goff.
What quarterback pulls more than Jared Goff, too?
What was that fat dude's name that played for the River Monsters and the XFL? The Hefty Lefty.
The Florida Gators.
The Hefty Lefty. or Aaron Hernandez. I know he wasn't a quarterback, but he was a tight end.
Wow.
You could probably put OJ in the conversation.
I guess all these takes make sense considering your two options at quarterbacks with the Bucks. I mean, Jared Goff's night and day compared to both of them. So
Obviously, Jared Goff is night and day. Him being the night portion. I just like when you look at Kyle Trask and you see his training camp videos where he missed that target by 13 feet. I just like Mike Evans would have caught that. That's how I see it. And then you got Baker Mayfield. I mean, have you seen the dude's athleticism when he ran from the cops in that video? I mean, just like watch it. I honestly couldn't tell if it was Usain Bolt or Baker Mayfield. It was the exact same person. And just my God, his dancing on TikTok. Let me tell you, that is the man that you should hide your daughters from.
Are you saying Jared Goff is the night portion of the night and day because he's black from below the waist?
I have no remarks on that comment.
Season warrior Tom
I'm
Kennedy.
just saying, we would not have won that Chicago Bears game in Soldier Field without Tom Kennedy. That huge 3rd and 8 catch, we would not have won that game.
Not Okuda's pick 6 or anything to put us up when we were down by 6 and they had the ball.
Nope, 100% Tom Kennedy. Put the team on his shoulders.
Is he like the first guy in, last guy out type of guy? The guy that brings his lunch pail to work? What are your analysis on Tom Kennedy?
Yeah, I mean, he's just the gritty, high-motor character everybody needs in the locker room.
would you let him date your daughter?
No,
Why is that?
he's just too short.
So I was starting off the year at 3-3, not the best start, and then we're gonna go down to Baltimore on a Sunday, and I don't see it happening. Not in Baltimore. They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna spread us out. They're gonna do a lot of different things to us, and that run the ball and spread us out, and then do different things to us is kind of interesting to say out loud, but. I didn't really realize that until I said. You got anything?
And also, I want to get Fields. I feel like you didn't give him any time to really talk about his Buccaneers versus the Lions, so I want to get his thoughts on that too. His Bucks.
Yeah. We're not worried about the Bucs.
Oh, yeah, I want his thoughts on it, though.
The Buccaneers are absolutely pathetic. That team lost me probably about $500 last year.
We do not condone gambling.
Oh, that wasn't. Yeah, no, that was.
Lost his dad.
I lost my dad's money. Yeah, I tell you that Bucks team. But like I said, man, we got Baker Mayfield throwing parties in the locker room before the game. I think it's gonna happen. But I definitely do think the Lions probably take that game. And then we're talking about the 4-for-4, the Wendy's 4-for-4, or the 4-and-4 start.
Well, I don't think any of us, besides Vita Vea, are not gonna indulge in the Wendy's 4-for-4.
Oh yeah, Vita Vea, that's my guy. If you listen to him, he's got like 40 names. Like listen to his draft night, it's like Vita Guadalupe. Guada Vea. He's got quite a few names, but he's going to have Jared Goff's name all day that day.
Not when Frank Ragnar's blocking him.
Hey, just punch him in the throat.
Oh. Hey, he'll play through it.
I've never heard of a throat fracture, but Frank Ragnow was the first.
I've heard of it a couple times, but definitely not on the football field.
I think we're all curious if football is how that really happened, but we'll leave that conversation for a different day. Listen, you Lions fans, I don't foresee why Henry Ruggs isn't a good pick. I mean, we all saw he's a speed threat.
On and off the field.
On and off the field. He's got deadly skill speed. The man can drink, obviously. That's always a great thing to have. Speed kills in the NFL.
And in the real world.
In the real world. We see his loving for animals.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he's just a well-rounded guy. And, maybe when he finds himself out of that 4x4 cell, he can make it back to the XFL one day.
We're getting fucking canceled. And then we come home to play Minnesota. I have us losing this game because I'm kind of hoping Minnesota's at 8 wins here and we can chill into the preseason with ease. But if we do need to win to get in, I think at home we kick their ass to make the playoffs. So it's kind of like a 10-7, 11-6 like hybrid game here. But I'm going with the Lions making the playoffs, winning the division at either 10-7 or 11-6, whatever it is. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit, But I definitely can see why people would be a little more skeptical when you really look into it instead of just being like, oh, they finished the year so well. I really do get the skepticism. I'm trying not to be overly biased, but I think winning the division 10 to 11 wins is a pretty reasonable prediction.
I'll probably talk about the Summer League. Victor Wembanyama. What the f***? I think Vladdy Guerrero Jr. is going to win the home run derby. I think taking the years off because in 2019 he hit 90 plus home runs and lost just because of how the derby's formatted. You have to hit more in the round, and I think he's going to be back in this derby for blood.
Who do you think your MVP for the NFC North is? Because I already have my predictions down. I just want to get yours.
Justin Jefferson could run away, even with the overall MVP. I know that's a quarterback award now, but if there was a position player to win it last year, Justin Jefferson would have been my pick. We could see a quarterback like Goff or Kirk Cousins maybe play above their ceiling. Yeah, if you want to go Lyman, David Bakhtiari, like Fieldsy said. No, that's not going to happen. That's Christian's pick. Would you like to go into depth?
Honestly, I mean, I don't know if anyone else has seen that clip of him chugging a beer at that NBA game, but I saw him put down about 6 in 15 seconds.
Oh, was it 15 seconds?
I mean, and then he did it on a torn ACL too. I mean, it takes skill.
I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson just because I think he's going to be the highlight of their offense. And last year he was an MVP candidate, wasn't he?
He was up there.
A finalist, yeah. So I think he's going to be mine.
Yeah, that's who I have. I have Justin Jefferson. I actually gave a little bit of thought to the quarterbacks, to Kirk Cousins, to Jared Goff, to Justin Fields. I give them all a little bit of thought. No really standout running backs that are that good that are going to win it. And I gave it to Jettas.
None other than probably the hottest topic to ever talk about in sports, LeBron James.
You mean LeGoat?
LeGoat.
LeBum.
Number 4 is scoring his career high 62 points against the Charlotte Bobcats and putting the Bobcats in even more misery than they already were. The only relevance that the Bobcats ever had in the NBA were winning like 7 or 8 games in a year and LeBron scoring 62 points on them.
He stared down Michael Jordan on that dunk, too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, no one really cares.
His dominance.
No one really cares.
The GOAT stared down the second best player of all time.
The only player ever to be criticized for winning a gold medal for our country. So
Yeah, that's very true.
Right, Jordan would beat teams by 35. LeBron would beat teams by 34. I mean, come on now. LeBron's got to be better than that.
He does.
yeah, I really don't know how much optimism we have, but there is this thing I want to ask you guys.
2-0 since the All-Star break. That's all I want to say. Kerry Carpenter MVP, baby.
Yeah, Carp has been. Hey, Brody has an interesting thing on Kerry Carpenter too that I wanted to share real quick before I get started.
So if I told you Kerry Carpenter was a 19th round pick in the draft, every Tigers fan would be absolutely ecstatic with Al Avila for making a good pick, right? The funniest part about that pick is he had to go outside the Tigers organization for help with that pick, and that's the person that picked Kerry Carpenter for him.
Yep, Al Avila's amazing. But we are 5 games back instead of being 5.5 games back. I think the division's out of play at this point. I just don't think we can make a run at it.
The Mariners are 45 and 46. They are not good.
That's 500. We're 9 games back from 500. And
above
that means they were above 500 before we played them.
Yeah, they can't handle the Tigers. That tells something about that organization.
Yeah, I think you're not giving enough credit.
Well,
do you think the Cincinnati Reds suck? Because they're like 2 games above 500.
Well, they're still not that good, no. I have a question for Cooper.
If you guys want a playoff team to watch this, like if you guys don't watch playoff baseball, I think playoff baseball is amazing. You guys want a team to watch the Reds. Ellie De La Cruz and all their young talent. They will be very, very interesting and fun to watch this postseason.
You want the honest take? They won't make the playoffs, and Will Benson sucks. He sucks. I feel like you'd take it in the ass.
No, absolutely not.
But
Please don't go watch last episode. No, that was bad.
Just like it and give it a view and then click off of it.
I'm going with the best quarterback in the league. I don't think you guys will really disagree with me here.
Kenny Pickett.
And it's Jared Goff.
Tommy, for your AFC North MVP.
Now, this can bring a little controversy because this could probably be the offensive player of the year. I'm going to go Jamar Chase, though. Okay. I think he's going to have a big step up. I mean, I don't think he's been quiet the past 2 seasons, but I think he's going to really take that step and make an argument to be the best wide receiver in the league this year.
I like that. I think, as most people know, he might have been able to take that step last year, but as the injuries derailed his season, kind of sad to see, but he was really, really good when he was on the field. I took Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow's a great player. I think, and it's a pretty obvious statement. But if you watch him, man, he's gotten so much better year by year. His pocket maneuverability, he can still extend plays like he did at LSU. He's super accurate. He's probably the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. And pre-snap processing, he's not Tom Brady. Nobody's going to be Tom Brady, but he's up there. He's the modern era's version of Brady when it comes to the processing, the mental side of the game. Now, I will say, this is going to ruffle some feathers. His playoff runs have been severely overrated. We're going to talk about that.
Actually, I agree with you.
He beat the Raiders. That team sucked. That team did not belong in the playoff. Look what they did the next year. And the year after that, their defense carried them.
He did have a chance to put the Rams away, too, in the fourth quarter, and it came out empty on a bunch of drives.
And he had 2 chances to put the Chiefs away this quarter, and this year Joe Cool didn't do it. The year before, Lou Arimena, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, the best defensive coordinator in the league, he was the one that beat the Chiefs. He outcoached Andy Reid to beat the Chiefs. And then the Rams, you put up 20 points. Like I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, he did. He played great against the Bills this year. They also couldn't stop the run, and their defensive game plan might have been the worst thing they've ever seen.
And they only beat the Ravens because of a goal line fumble.
They should have lost that game. Their only touchdown that game was Sam Hubbard's fat ass running a 98-yard fumble return. So yeah, he's a great player. His success in the postseason is a tad overrated.
Baker Mayfield MVP. He's in the AFC South. We are in the AFC North, so we might get to that for the AFC South. But Trey Hendrickson, I feel like, is one of the most underrated pass rushers just because of everyone around him, and Dax Hill sucks. With all due respect,
What the hell?